Hello, guys. Welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. So today on the show, we are going to be talking about the Hoosiers. They rise in the AP poll to number 11. Are you satisfied with that spot? Are you not satisfied with it? Tell me about it in the comments down below. But I got to say, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think it gives them, some bulletin board material, some things to like really grow on going forward. And I gotta say, I mean, that slacking of Illinois, it was completely demoralizing for them. And we're going to talk a little bit about the team. Like, can we hang with the big dogs? Can we play with like the next level teams? Oregon coming up in 2 weeks, but we're going to talk about the Iowa game. I got 3 clips lined up for you, and I have an article. I know I rip on ESPN on here all the time, but we'll talk about this article that it was Pamela Maldonado, and I want to give her flowers for giving IU so many flowers in this article on ESPN because a lot of really positive things in here. We'll see a clip from her, a clip from Dan Patrick, what he had to say about ESPN or about Indiana Hoosiers and what they did over the weekend, and then we have just a short clip of Coach Signetti, and then we will get you the hell out of here so you can go along with your day. Hoosiers, Chad? I see you. But let's get into it. First, hit that subscribe button down below. If it's your first time here, hit that thumbs up button and pump the video out. We have our basketball program has unbelievable fans all across the world. We need the exact same thing with the football program. So this is a football program video. If you hit the thumbs up button, it will send these videos out to more people. It gets inside the algorithm. That's all you need to know. It gets inside the algorithm and it spreads like wildfire, and we'll have more and more people just really excited about Indiana football as it goes on. But it's growing so fast. The amount of excitement around Indiana football right now is just absolutely unbelievable. But let's get right into the video. The first thing I want to talk about is the Indiana line. Like, I've heard a lot of people talking today, the team we had last year, and we can say whatever we want about it. We believed in them. They were a great team. They did catch lightning in a bottle, and I mean, really throttled a lot of teams. But when we played like the big boy teams, Notre Dame and Ohio State, we looked small against those teams up front. I think, have we elevated our line play to the point that we can hang with Oregon in 2 weeks? But I don't want to skip over the Iowa game. We're going to talk about Coach Sig and the Iowa coach. They go way back to Pitt back in the 80s when they were both graduate assistants there. So Coach Signetti, very familiar, and we know that Iowa is a team that, he said in the press conference, they just don't beat themselves. They're well coached, and it's a really tough place to play. So you got to get through that game. But I mean, you get through that game and you're 5-0, and then you can really see if they could play Oregon tough, how that would go. But let's get right into this article here. So first, I'm going to play the clip of her. They should put her on like the regular ESPN more. But she gives Indiana a lot of flowers, talking about, how it was no fluke what they did to Illinois. They improved their offensive line, like all of the things that Indiana has done. But Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll this clip of Pamela Maldonado. And they should put her on like First Take and all these other shows and have her talk about Indiana too. But just happy to see that they're getting so much positive feedback now. And I mean, eventually it's going to come from everywhere. But
Indiana is the perfect example of why preseason predictions actually matter. Back in August, the talk wasn't just hype, it was about continuity. Having an experienced quarterback in Fernando Mendoza, a rebuilt offensive line, a backfield that could control games, and having a defense that was already ranked top 10 in points allowed, returning a majority of its starters. 4 weeks into the season, and that's exactly what we're seeing. But the extra layer of it all, Indiana's identity is travel proof. They don't just win with explosive plays, they win with efficiency. Top 5 nationally in both offensive and defensive success rate. That's the type of football that holds up when you go to Oregon, holds up when you go to Penn State. Preseason expectations for Indiana set the framework, and now the Hoosiers are proving that they are built for the playoff chase not because of style points, but because their style travels. That's why this season for them isn't a fluke. Instead, it is the exact script we saw coming back in August, and exactly why you should wager on Indiana to make the college football.
Well, there you go. Let me get myself on the full screen here. Yeah, somebody at ESPN saying, I mean, right now, Indiana has better odds to make the college football playoff than Texas, Penn State, and Alabama. How about that? I mean, that is the world that we're living in. And, it's all in this article. If you read it on ESPN, like there's one part, like it wasn't a fluke. The part of this article, I really want to just read an excerpt from it. Like the game was the exact picture of my preseason reads painted. For Indiana, the pieces were already in place. Mendoza stepped into a system, set school records last season, and he's looked every bit of the part. Steady, efficient quarterback through 4 games. He is completing nearly 77% of his passes, 17 touchdowns, no interceptions. The run game has rolled for more than 1,200 yards, 6.8 yards per carry. The balance paired with the All-American talent was always the blueprint. Now, this is where this team is better than the team last year. It just is. This team is a lot better than the team last year. I'm going to say it. Like, our schedule wasn't weak last year, but it was the way that it set up. Like, it all set up for one game with Ohio State at the end of the season. Like, this year, we got a better team. We just throttled a ranked team, and we have another ranked team coming up in 2 weeks. Like, last year, we didn't have that. So, in a way, the scheduling has worked out for us. I mean, football is all about confidence. It really is. Like, it took Mendoza. I think he needed the first 3 weeks of this season to gain some confidence to really see what he did against Illinois. I mean, like, I was at the Kennesaw State game. He looked a lot more crisp in that game. And then Indiana State, he turned it on. But the first 2 games, there were some times where he just looked like he was not completely comfortable with everything that was going on out there. So it is great to see like them rising in the rankings, getting some respect, but also I think we can be like with our schedule this year, we could be 10-2 and get into the college football playoff. And that's where I think the rankings and Indiana getting a little bit of their flowers and some of that stuff is going to go a long way, where it's going to be like, look, this team, we play Oregon tough. We play Penn State tough. If somehow we could win one of those 2 games, I mean, let's face it, those Penn State, they've been into football forever. Oregon, they are a powerhouse this year. Those are going to be really tough games. Can we match up against them? Last year against Ohio State, honestly, we didn't really match up with them head to head. And there was a time in that game where, Signetti really made kind of he started playing a little bit scared. And I think we all saw it because we were way overmatched in that game. Can we go like the Iowa game is playing 2 road games in a row with a chip on your shoulder? Can they go to Iowa, win that game, and come into Oregon with a bigger offensive line? Can they play in that game and block guys up front, run the ball, still be able to operate your offense in the way that you want to, keep the game close? That's just the next level. That's just the next step of this team. I mean, I have no doubt that Signetti is going to have them ready. I mean, I got a clip of the coach here. He's not taking Iowa lightly. We should not take Iowa lightly. This is going to be a tough game as well. And let's just put the coach on here and see what this is. Just the beginning of his press conference today, talking about what's coming up at Iowa. Hillbilly Monkey, roll it.
Regardless of the final score, there's always things that show up on tape. that got to get corrected. And believe me, there's plenty there. So really more interested in moving on to our next opponent, which will be a real challenge at Iowa. Got a lot of respect for Coach Ferentz, everything he's accomplished throughout his career as a head coach and as an assistant too. You know, he's a great line coach before he became a head coach, and he was a graduate assistant at Pitt in 1980. I was a graduate assistant at Pitt in 83 and 84. He's come by the offices now and then. Had a chance to met him a couple times out and around. Got to know him during the Big Ten meetings, so congratulate him. You know, on the big win a couple weeks ago to make him the winningest coach in the Big Ten. And Iowa, it's a tough place to play, Kinnick Stadium. They sell it out almost every Saturday. It's loud.
All right. Yep. I mean, him and the Iowa coach, they go way back. And we know that Iowa is not going to beat themselves. I mean, we are going to have to go out there, play. That might be one that turns into like a slog of a game. And sometimes you play teams like that. In football, sometimes you play teams like Iowa's going to try to run the ball, and they're going to try to play like tough defense and shorten the game and make it into an ugly game on the road. And they always sell out. And they got, you know, that magical thing. Everybody waves to the cancer hospital behind there. I'm not making fun of it. It's a very cool thing that they do there. So it's going to be a tough game at Iowa, and that's a big win to put on your resume. Even compared to, you know, last year we won at Michigan State. I think like playing at Iowa, I think is a lot tougher than playing at Michigan State. They can be tough. And Iowa gets some damn good football players out there. They got a lot of corn out there. They got a lot of cornbread people just like we have, you know. So the core of public opinion, IU is no longer known as a basketball school. It's known as a mediocre program at best. Now IU is, however, maybe a top 5 program in the bread and butter. All right. Thank you. Core of public opinion. But what do you think about the ranking? I was so happy to see a lot of people giving Indiana their rankings, their flowers today. Here's Dan Patrick, and I was waiting on hold. I listen to him every day. I was waiting on hold, but my daughter was sick today, so I was home with her all day, and I was waiting to you know, say all these things about Indiana on there. But you know, DP, he got to it anyway. So I like your attitude here. I know that Iowa will not win, and that's exactly what Signetti's gonna say. But here was a DP today, just giving Indiana a little bit of their props.
The Indiana game. The Indiana game. Say goodbye to Illinois. I mean, you lose by 53 points. Oh my God. LSU, Miami, Oregon, Florida State, Texas, they roll. But Indiana. I said Indiana could, put up points. I didn't know they were going to put up that many points. The Clemson loss to Syracuse. Once again, Louis Riddick was on the call with that. And Dabo Swinney, you can't have that kind of performance out of your team at home after you have a press conference where you're calling out the media for calling you out. Mike Gundy with Oklahoma State. I mean,
all right. So you see it. I mean, I love to see that we're getting some of the recognition. I hope it's not going to go to the players' heads. I do have a lot of faith in this coaching staff that they've been able to, even when we played in the big games, you've never seen the train come off the tracks with the coaching staff that Signetti's brought in. I mean, every game is like fast, physical, relentless, disciplined game. So that's the type of game you're going to have to play against Iowa, a very fundamentally strong game. And we're going to talk about that more as this week goes on. And I have more videos. I got a video coming out about Lamar Wilkerson and Tayton Conaway, and what those two guys are bringing to the table in the basketball program. And look, it's a great time to be a Hoosier. It's a great time to be in Central Indiana sports. And the Fever game was on yesterday during the Colts game, but they are doing unbelievable. I mean, by all accounts, they have like won the first round game where they don't have Caitlin Clark. Everybody's out, and they're on to the second round. So great job to them. And then what the Colts are doing is pretty remarkable to watch. What Daniel Jones has done with the Colts, and then what Kurt Signetti's doing with Indiana. I mean, Central Indiana, you go from the Pacers playing in the finals, just over the summer, to it's just a great time to be a Hoosier right now. It's a great time to root for Indiana sports, and I'm happy to be here for it. But if you're a Detroit Tigers fan, you are not going to want to watch what's going on with them right now. It is a total collapse. They didn't lose a game yesterday, but I don't know. Hillbilly Monkey, do we got anything else here? But it's I think Indiana is going to be able to play with the big dogs. That is what my conclusion of this video is I think we are going to be able to, this team, like what we did to Illinois wasn't a fluke. And this team is going to be able to play with Oregon. Maybe we can go out there and play like a really tough game, put them on the ropes. And, if we could do something like that and get ahead in a game like that and really show that we can, because Oregon, I mean, some people got Oregon at number one. It's really, and that's the other thing about the college football playoff this year. I do think it's a lot more wide open than it was last year. I did think that Ohio State had just head and shoulders above like everybody else, the best team. So that's another thing to look at. Could Indiana like get a better seed, make a run, actually win a couple of games in the college football playoff? Then you're rolling, getting recruits to come in, get in the college football playoff 2 years in a row. They're going to expand this thing to 16 teams, probably the year after next. So start getting in it. I mean, they expanded to 16, and then we want to be one of those teams. And, I don't want to get too far out over my skis here, but I mean, the future of Indiana football looks really, really great. And the future of Indiana basketball looks really great right now too. So thank you so much for everybody for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.